When you walk into a room, people start reading you before you even say a word. Every movement, every glance, every pause, it's all sending a message. Is this person someone who's valuable, high status? Or is this person normal, like everyone else, lower status? Back when I was in school, I majored in behavioral science and specialized in neuropsychology. And there are three main influences that helped me craft NEPQ, Neuro-Emotional Persuasion Questionnaire. One of them was Machiavelli. One of the things that I learned from this man's work that most people completely miss, power doesn't come from aggression. Power comes from respect. That leads to people viewing you as higher status, which keeps you in control. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through 10 very specific things that you might be doing right now in public that are instantly lowering your status and influence and how people are perceiving you. And if you remove these habits, you will command respect. Now, I'm going to give you a warning. What I'm about to share with you in this training and others, you can use for good or you can use for evil. You can use it to manipulate people to get what you want, which will only last short term, and people will eventually hate you. Or you can be smart and you can use these tactics for good, where people will respect you and you will be able to help a lot of people get what they want. Should we begin? Number one, over-explaining, the silent killer of authority. Here's what most people don't realize. The moment you start explaining too much, you start losing value in the other person's eyes. Now, why do I say that? I want you to think about this. When someone challenges you or questions your decision, what do you instantly do? You want to clarify, you want to justify, you want to explain, you want them to understand you. You see, high status people, they don't over-explain. They say it once and they let people react. High status men control the frame because when you over-explain, you show the other person you're seeking their approval. And anytime you seek approval, you automatically lower your position in their mind, in their frame, and lowering your status and how they view you. Power, status doesn't justify itself. It doesn't have to. It doesn't defend itself. It doesn't overprove its point. When you speak, state what you mean once. And ask a question to take control of the conversation and go silent. Let the silence work for you. You see, in NEPQ, we call this emotional detachment, staying neutral even when your ego wants to jump in. If your boss asks, why did you make that decision in an aggressive tone? You can simply say, that's what made the most sense based on the information I had. Do you have information I might not know about? See what happened? You took a question that sounded like he was accusing you and you remained neutral in your answer. You didn't over-explain, and then you flipped that frame back to them when you asked, did you have information I might not have? And now they respond to you. Now, who is in control of that frame, of that conversation? You are, my friend. Then you're going to stop. Let them explain. Let you take the power. No more of explaining yourself. No nervous laughter. No, does that make sense? Trying to seek their approval. Because the second you start seeking their approval, you've already lost the perception of control. You've already lowered your status in their mind. Number two, reacting to haters. You see, at some point, someone's going to test you in public. Maybe they make a hateful comment on your social media post or a sarcastic jab or a little tone meant to pull you off balance. Most people take the bait. They react, they defend, they attack back. Now, why is it so critical for you not to take the bait? Why is that something you don't want to do? Why you don't want to defend? Because the moment you react, you give the other person control. You've given them what they wanted. You've just told them they're important, and now they live in your head. In persuasion, every reaction is a transaction, and you just paid them with your composure. So here's what you do instead. Pause for a second. Think through it. You're not going to respond to a hateful comment because you don't care. Let the silence, we call that the void, make them feel uncomfortable. Because when you don't react, you flip the power dynamic instantly. They realize, wait, he's not playing. He doesn't care about me. You see, a person who cannot be provoked is unpredictable. And unpredictable people, they're respected. You feel like a mystery to them. They feel like they're not important enough for you to care to even respond. And that crushes haters. You see, in public, your calmness under fire communicates more strength than your words ever could. So don't flinch, don't sigh, don't roll your eyes. Just wait, just watch. And if you must respond, do it once, calmly, with no emotion. And then pivot the conversation That's how you maintain authority, not by dominance, but by collective composure. Number 3, trying to be liked. Let me ask you a question. Do you want to be liked, or would you rather be respected? Because most people confuse the two, and in doing so, they actually kill both. Because you've seen it before. The person who laughs too loudly at a joke that nobody finds funny, the one who agrees just to avoid conflict, or the one who apologizes for taking up space, like, I'm so sorry I'm late. That's behavior. And what's that behavior communicating? It says, please like me. Now, why is understanding this so vital for you? Because authority, power, doesn't come from being liked. It comes from your certainty, from being certain. And when you lower yourself to make others comfortable, you subconsciously tell them that your presence needs permission. That's the opposite of power and authority. So in any social setting, stay relaxed, speak less, pay attention, don't chase the connection. The room should come to you. They should want to connect with you because you don't need anything from them. You see, the man who walks into a room and communicates he doesn't need anything from anyone is a man who has the frame. That man controls the power. Respect comes from calm detachment from the person who needs nothing from anyone in the room. That right there is the man everyone wants to be around. Number 4, oversharing personal details. You see, we live in a culture that confuses exposure with authenticity. But what most people call openness is actually emotional leakage. Now, why do I say that? Because when you reveal too much, your fears, your struggles, your insecurities, you're handing people the blueprint to your emotional pressure points. Now, why would you never want to do that? Because in persuasion, that is suicide. Because now they know how to trigger you. You see, Machiavelli understood this hundreds of years ago. He wrote that information is leverage, meaning the less they know about your internal world, your personal life, the harder it is for them to manipulate you. And this doesn't mean to be fake or to be cold. It means to protect your mystery. The less people can read you, the more they project onto you. And projection builds intrigue. It builds mystery. Who is this person? What is this person really about? So when someone asks you a personal question, like, what do you do for a living? If you're at a networking event, you can actually downplay it and say something like, oh, geez, you'd probably get bored if I went over all that. Like, what about you? What do you do for work? That little statement right there will actually cause them to be more interested in your world. Why? Because you act like you don't care. You don't need to sell yourself. They will always come back after they explain all about themselves and they'll say, no, tell me really, like, what do you do for a living? Why? Because you downplayed what you did. You didn't care. You don't need their approval. And that kind of self-control isn't arrogance, it's presence. Number 5, speaking too soon, filling the silence. You see, there's a reason why the person who speaks first rarely has power. When you rush to talk, what you're signaling is neediness, the need to be heard, the need to prove yourself to them. Now, why is that so important for you not to do? Why? Because in sales, persuasion, anything, silence is your most powerful tool. In life, it's no different. When you hold back and you let others speak, you gather the data. You have control. You see their emotional needs, their insecurities, their desires, even their fears, not them. Every second you stay quiet, you build tension. And tension draws attention. The moment you finally speak, the room listens. Not because you demanded it, but because your restraint earned it. So don't compete for airtime. Compete for impact. Say less, which will mean more in their minds. Because when your words are rare, that echoes that those words are far more important than anyone else's. Number 6, showing visible emotion. You see, emotion is powerful, but when you let it away in public, it becomes your liability. Anger, frustration, sadness, even overenthusiasm, they all tell people how to control you. Now, why is that critical for you? Think about it. I mean, you already know this. If they know all that triggers you, they can pull those strings anytime they want. You see, real strength isn't being emotionless. It's mastering the timing. Feel deeply in private, but in public, you're composed, which makes you appear confident, certain in yourself. You don't need anyone else's approval. Your high status, your calm is your currency. And when they can read it, they respect you. When they can predict you, they will dismiss you. So hold still. Smile when you choose, never when you're prompted by anyone else. Number 7, weak body language. You see, before you ever open your mouth, your body already tells everyone in the room how much you value yourself, how certain you are in yourself. Your body language tells them if you are a high status person or low status. Now, what do I mean by that? When your shoulders cave in, your eyes dart all over the room, looking at everyone, your head tilts for any agreement, you're signaling uncertainty. Power is not loud. It's calculated. It's calm. You see, the man who moves slowly, deliberately, and doesn't flinch, they own the room before even saying a word. So train your body to speak with confidence before your mouth does. Stand still, chin level, movements controlled, eyes steady. Don't mirror approval. You're going to command it. Body language and your tonality tell everyone who you are. And the stiller you are, the more the world mirrors you, you no longer mirror them. Number 8, interrupting people. You see, people interrupt because they think it shows confidence. But interruption doesn't show confidence. It shows anxiety. The person who interrupts is saying, I need to be heard right now. The powerful person says, I already am heard. How? By my presence, even when I'm silent. You see, in persuasion influence, listening is how you gain ammunition. And when you interrupt, you lose that data. But when you listen completely, the other person reveals everything you need to know. Their beliefs, their fears, their biases. So next time you feel the urge to cut somebody off, stop. Take a breath, especially in a networking situation, and let them keep talking. And if you need clarity around something they said, you simply interject. That's much different than interrupting. And you ask an NEPQ clarifying question like, hey, when you said that, how did you mean exactly? And they'll start to perceive you as someone important, the expert, the authority. Number 9, being too available. You see, scarcity creates status. Always has, always will. If you're always showing up, always replying, always accessible, you become common. And what's common loses value. Powerful people move strategically. They're not everywhere. They're exactly where they choose to be. So make your presence something people notice when it's missing, not just when it's there. Be available selectively. Be seen intentionally, because absence multiplies curiosity. It communicates to people, this person must be important. They have stuff going on. They're not always available. So for example, if you're out Saturday night with your friends, instead of staying out with them till 3 or 4 in the morning doing stupid things, you slip away at midnight. You have important things to do. You're different than everyone else. You're successful. When you withdraw, even briefly, your reappearance feels like an event. That's how you build mystique, not through always being available, but through scarcity. Number 10, positioning yourself. Here's what Machiavelli himself would have loved: positioning. Where you physically stand in a room tells people how much authority you believe you have. Standing in the corners, hugging the walls, hovering near exits, you're telling everyone, I don't belong at the center of this conversation. I'm not that important. But presence begins with positioning. You see, when you walk into a room, don't rush to the edges. Walk slowly, observe, then choose a spot where visibility is natural, not loud, just centered, normal. You don't have to dominate the room. You're just anchoring it. And I'll give you an example. If you go out to eat with your friends at a nice restaurant, you got a table of 8, don't sit on the edge, sit in the middle where everyone in the restaurant can see you as they walk in. You are now the center of attention. You are communicating that you are important. You have status. So claim your space before you speak, and people unconsciously adjust their behavior around you. That's control. That's frame control. That's silent. That's physical. That's psychological. Power is discipline, not dominance. Now, I just showed you 10 behaviors that you might not have noticed that you're doing that's causing you to be viewed as low status in people's mind. The good news, every one of those can be changed immediately right now, because power isn't about doing more. It's about doing less with intention, with the right skills. And when you start applying these in your everyday life, you're going to notice a difference. Conversations will start shifting for you. Rooms will become quiet when you actually speak. People will pay attention to every last word when you talk. That's not magic. That's psychology. That's human behavior. The same principles I've used since I started in sales 24 years ago, and now I use in my own company's 7th level. Recently ranked the largest B2C sales training company in the world, 3rd largest in the B2B space, according to annual revenues. Now, who cares about all that? What about you? If you're the type of person who's committed to mastery, not like all the wingers and dabblers out there. If you want to master how to build this kind of presence, not fake confidence, but real earned status, hit the subscribe button. That's your first step. Because I'm going to show you how to combine human psychology, sales influence, and Machiavellian strategy to become the person everyone listens to, the person that commands the room. So what's your next step? People always ask me, where's the best place to start? You're going to want to get this. Throw me that book, baby. This is called the NEPQ Black Book of Questions. 273 questions and phrases you can ask in any sales persuasion situation that is going to elevate your status, get your people that you're talking to lower their guard, and help you win more business, more deals, and become the trusted authority in everyone's mind. Click the link in the description, get yours today, and thanks for watching.